If you ask men afterwards what was in their lives, what are the most fulfilling sexual experiences they had, it's always a woman having orgasms. That's it. It's not his orgasm. He doesn't go, gee, he might say, boy, I lasted so long, but it gave her orgasms. That's the whole thing, is her fulfillment is the most amazing thing for him, because that means I achieved a goal. That means, look what I did. That's the masculine energy. Look what I did. And for the woman, the pleasure is, look what I got a guy to do for me. You know, it's like, if you're a woman and you're in an office and somebody bring your boyfriend or your husband sends flowers, you're like glowing because you go, look what my partner did for me. It's a feather in your cap that somebody does something for you. Whereas for a man, it's a feather in his cap when he sees your reaction to what he did for you. And this is a bottom line gender difference that we want to honor. And by honoring it, it helps us to bring our hormones back into balance.
Yeah, I think what you just hit upon there is such gold for this audience, John, because I think for a lot of women, once they like a guy or they're interested in a guy, or they start exploring a relationship with a guy, maybe the guy is doing nice things for them, or maybe he's taking them out on dates. And so these women, many of us, and I can speak for myself back to when I was single, we start feeling like we need to reciprocate in kind. And we lose that sense of knowing and understanding how deeply satisfying it is for a man to just have a woman receive, and I like to call it graciously receiving what he has to offer, and then acknowledging in him and appreciating him, and then he's getting, it's like a win-win scenario. He's getting what he needs, and a woman is getting to receive and be fulfilled by what she's receiving. But a lot of women have become so, you know, they're thinking it's got to be this quid pro quo, or they're so unaccustomed to receiving. They're so good at giving, but they're so unaccustomed to receiving that it can be really hard for them not to start over-functioning or over-giving in a relationship. And I just think what you were hitting on is just pure gold for this audience.
And also to know that once the sex happens, because men do ejaculate who haven't learned how not to ejaculate, he will disconnect. He will pull back energetically. He has to pull back to rebuild his masculine yang energy. That's the yin yang, feminine masculine. He will pull back. And at that time, women would then start to give more to get him back. And that's the big mistake. She now, even if he pursued her, once he's got her, he pulls back. Now she then pursues him. And that's that over-giving. And she'll do it in many ways. I talk about it in the book, Men Are From Mars. As men get close, they pull away. The big mistake women make is they now pursue him. They want to get him back. How do you get him back? Well, one is you punish him for pulling away. So how could you not call me for a week? I can't believe you didn't do this. Why would you do that? Because that's her feeling. You know, she's so connected. Why did you pull away? So to punish him, to criticize him, to make him feel bad. Oh, you hurt me so much when you didn't call. Well, many men never even call sometimes. If they remember a week later, they sort of wait, their testosterone comes back and they go, wow, that was great. And then he calls her and says, you hurt me so much. He anticipates that. So he doesn't even call. So many men say to me, oh, I forgot about her. So then remember her. She's going to be so mad at me, I won't even call her. But it's just tendency. Men to different degrees will pull away. And then they will spring back, pull away, spring back. So when a guy pulls away, one way you try to get him back is to teach him, don't do that again. And so you punish him. That's what we do, the control. Another way.
Yeah, the cold, icy response or whatever.
The cold, icy response. Another way is to give more. Oh, he's pulling away. Oh, let me call him up. Let me give more. Let me do more. Let me react more. Let me be more loving towards him because he's pulling away. That actually can push him further away. He should always be springing back to her. Her responses need to be authentic responses to him giving more to her. And then there is that natural reaction to reciprocate. And that's a beautiful feminine thing. But reciprocation means if I receive, I give back. If I receive, I give back. As opposed to I'm giving to get. I'm giving to get is healthy for men. I give to get your love. That's healthy for men. Healthy for women is I receive and I give back. And
that's a good distinction right there, John. That's really good.
And another part that goes with that, to add to that, the best giving back you can give to a man is to appreciate what he's given to you. You're literally giving me what I need when you appreciate what I do. When you accept my imperfections, it gives me even more love. When you're not demanding more of me, when you're trusting that I'm doing my best and it's good enough, as opposed to, well, you need to change, you need to do this, you need to do that. These are the greatest gifts, and women don't realize the power in that. Accepting a man, appreciating a man, trusting the best of a man is emerging in a process without you having to do anything to change him. Those messages is pure gold for men. It's better than anything you could do for him. And think about what message you're giving when you have sex to a man. It means you're literally accepting him into your body. It means that you're experiencing pleasure. You're appreciating his every touch. And you're trusting him that he's not going to hurt you, be critical of you when he's so close to you. So this is like the best experience. An orgasm, of course, when a woman has it, is total trust. It's surrender. It's opening up to receive. And that is why it's so powerful for men. That's the greatest gift you can give to a man, is to be that vulnerable and that nurtured, that sensitive and nurturing of a man's needs at that time by letting him give to you.
Mm-hmm. So can I ask you a question? This is something that comes up a lot too with the women that I speak with, is that it seems like there are men out there of all different ages, but of course this is for the most part a little more mature audience, where it seems like the men are not very motivated or they're not doing a whole lot. And part of that may be this hormonal thing that you were talking about, where their testosterone is low. But what are some ideas or what are some tips besides this idea of receiving, of how a woman can get more from a man without making him feel like she's trying to change him? Because I see headlines out there like how to make a man commit or how to make a man fall in love with you. And I'm like, sometimes those things feel a little manipulative to me. But I guess I'm asking, how can we bring out the best in them, or how can we invite them to step up into that masculine?
Okay, so the first step is, yes, women have the power to bring out the best in men, which means he will change, but only because he wants to change, as opposed to you sort of manipulating or forcing a change. And so the dynamic, there's 4 steps in that. Step 1 is stop trying to change him in any way. That's heaven to a man. That means no complaining, no directing, no improving. That means noticing how you will tend to control. And every woman, every man, when we're not getting what we need, we want to change our partner because we go, oh, they made me so happy. Now I want to try to change them. And now they're not. So I have to change them back, or I have to get them how to do it better. So the first step is noticing how you will seek to change your partner and stop. Second step is to recognize that when you're trying to change your partner, which you just recognized, it's because you're not getting something you need. That's step 2. And step 2 then is recognize you're not getting what you need. You have to give yourself what you need. So that's self-reliance on how to find hormonal balance without depending on your partner. That means, in practical terms, how to be happy without depending on a man. You depend on a man to be happier. You don't depend on a man to be happy. That's a basic truth in my message. If you want to take your relationships to an ecstatic level, you have to already be fulfilled within yourself, not dependent on a man to be fulfilled. But you are fulfilled through your life, not a man. Your man in your life can bring you to a higher level. And that's the orgasmic state. That's the romantic state. That's the naked state. That's where, you can love your work, but you can't walk around naked and have people adore you. Okay, that's not going to happen. So this happier state is something that you can achieve through intimacy and the safety of that by picking a partner and so forth. So you want to achieve, the second step is how to bring myself back into hormonal balance. If you're wanting to change your partner, generally you're out of balance. You're dissatisfied. You're looking for more. Now you come back to giving yourself more. And what will that look like? We'll talk about in a minute. Once you give yourself more, you're back into balance. Then you give more. But this time you give your partner what they need, not what you need, not what you think they should need, but you learn how to give them what they need. And as I mentioned, men particularly, and you'll see throughout this whole series, men particularly want to feel accepted. They want to feel appreciated. They want to feel trusted. They want to be admired. They want to be the hero. They want to feel like they're contributing to your well-being in some meaningful way. That is masculinity. There will be some men, when you ask them, they're more on their female side. So they'll say, oh, I want to be able to share my feelings and my emotions, and I want her to be there for me just like I'm there for her in that emotional way. And yes, there's some truth to that. But if it becomes a dominant need in a man, he becomes too estrogen oriented. So we'd have to remember that when you're listening to different men, some men are more on their female side, and it will be confusing because they'll talk about things that women primarily need. And because they can feel those needs, because when you have more estrogen, you will have all the needs that a woman has. If you have more testosterone, you'll be more on your male side. You want to solve problems and fix things and do all that stuff. So it can be very confusing when you ask somebody what they need or what's important to them. What I'm telling you is what I've learned from my 40 years of experience is that men need more testosterone. And testosterone is generated in both men and women when you celebrate, appreciate them. Oh, look what a good job you did. I need your help. The fireman who goes into the fire, he's the hero. That's his testosterone shoots way up. This is what, if you need more testosterone, what you need is you need more appreciation, acceptance for who you are, and trust. If you want more estrogen, what you need is someone to care more about you. You're special, you're a priority, someone who understands you. Understanding is penetrating into your feelings and your thoughts and your wishes and wants and needs. And somebody who honors you as much as they honor themselves, or honors you even more than themselves sometimes, prioritizing you. And that's called respect.